Good evening, football world. We're a day late, but hey, better late than never. This is the Football Stooges coming at you live, whether you're listening in or you're watching us on any of the platforms we're on. Shout out to Mamba, my co host, for plugging literally every site imaginable into this. But anyway, without further ado, I'm your host, Lob City. Next to me, we're going to have the one and only Mastodon. Go Birds! Let's go Birds!
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Fly. And the depressed Chicago Bears fan that even took off a Chicago Bears shirt, Mamba. How we doing, boys?
Bears dying. The Bears dying. Bears dying.
Oh man, this was a look, dude. There is a reason.
All.
There is a reason as a Bengals fan. I have a large amount of vodka next to me because it's not a fun day.
There's a reason why there's bear spray on the market.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the show. Again, if you guys want to like the video, subscribe to our podcast, and please send in any questions you have on the platforms. There's a YouTube channel for us that should be linked to most of our profiles. So if you want to ask questions, they should be below in the YouTube video. Please ask away, and we'll try to answer them whenever we get them. So far, we haven't gotten any, but when we do, we'll start asking them, especially GOAT questions. I love questions about who's the best this of all time, who's the best of that of all time, because that's going to get great discussions going. Because if you say who's the greatest quarterback of all time, this guy's going to probably say, Brock Osweiler, or maybe another Bears quarterback like Rex Grossman, and then this guy's probably going to say like, I don't know, Donovan McNabb or Carson Wentz, Randall Cunningham. Yeah, you could go with that. He was a better Viking anyway. All right, but
Jay Cutler.
Jake Cutler. So yeah, ask questions again. Ask questions if you got them. We're the Football Stooges. We're going to bring you an interesting view on football, break down the week prior, and bring up the week upcoming, which again today is pretty close because we have a absolutely horrible game that's going to be played tonight on Thursday. So, without further ado, it is officially October 13th, 2022. Let's get this show on the road.
Broncos country, let's ride. Broncos country, let's ride. Broncos country, let's ride.
And that was a live view of what happened last week. I'm going to be truthful with you, ESPN. I don't know why there's a highlights button here. There weren't any. But yeah, let's dive in.
They could just remove the highlights button. You do not want to watch the highlights.
Disappeared to try to hide away from this game. So, in probably the worst football game I have ever seen, and I mean that truthfully, as a Bengals fan who have watched the AFC North, which has been full of some great teams and some really bad teams, both of which usually are from Ohio. I've seen some bad games. This is by far the worst game I've seen. By far. It was 12-9. As you can see, there were no touchdowns scored. None. Absolutely nothing. I don't even know where to start. I'm at a loss for words. Fellas?
I mean, I'll just start with this. Last week I said Colts by 3, so I'm correct there.
Yeah. If you mind, Mamba.
I did say that.
As we're going through these, Mamba, just go ahead and say who won each one and if they got 1 or 2 points, basically, and just keep a tally.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that way we'll have it, and we can, at the very end, say, before we give our predictions for the next week, we'll say this and this or this and that. Well, yeah. Yeah, I think I took the Broncos in this by like 7. Wow. Again, that video was...
You said by 10.
Oh, by 10.
Yeah. I was by 6.
I'll have to do the scoring later, because I have to do a lot of maths. But yeah.
No, you can do it later.
Regardless, let Russ cook is probably now synonymous with a 9-to-5 McDonald's burger flipper.
At this point, I mean, he's not getting paid that much, like as a McDonald's 9-to-5 burger flipper. He's getting paid how much again? Like 20-30 mil?
Yeah.
I don't remember, but
yeah. Again, none of the stats really jump out on the page. Both quarterbacks had 2 interceptions. I guess one that does pop out is Matt Ryan was taking 6 sacks. I don't know, the Colts line, kind of like the Bengals line, they don't seem bad on paper. They have Quentin Nelson and a lot of other really good surrounding players that seem to be good. And they had a couple injuries, a couple rookies got slotted in, and now they don't look as good. But at the same time, you expect with a very veteran and probably one of, if not the best guard, I mean, Andreas Pete and maybe Roger Staffold and Wyatt Teller would like to, talk about who's the best guard right now. But like one of the better linemen right now, possibly of this last decade for guards, you would expect, him to be a leading presence, be able to help him out a little bit. But 6 sacks for Matt Ryan.
Yeah, I know. I said this last time. Like the Colts, they should be in rebuild mode. I don't know why they went out of their way to get Matt Ryan for this season.
Yeah. Quarterback carousel.
I don't get
churning.
It looks like he's trying to save jobs now. After the Wentz stuff that happened last year, I think it's Frank Reich and Ballard, the GM, trying to save their jobs. Like I thought Frank Reich would actually.
I think the GMs should figure out
Jim Irsay.
Yeah, Jim Irsay likes to win. Jim Irsay likes to win. That's the thing. Jim Irsay wants to win constantly, no matter who he's gotten. And he thinks he can because he picked up this quarterback from Stanford that he never protected. That apparently, was going to take him forever. That he didn't protect him, and the guy, had to quit because he was going to get killed out there every fucking Sunday.
Yeah, but at a certain point, you need to rebuild. You can't just keep on churning quarterbacks.
I mean, yeah, I feel like you're right. I feel like they should have gone the route of maybe trying to not get a bunch of good players, because I think they could keep Quentin Nelson. They could probably Michael Pittman's still young.
That's really their only offensive threat besides Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor's young too. Besides the injury, he's been great. So for all that should be out the window, and they should be like, let's go get Bryce Young or somebody of quarterback. I don't know. Are there really many other quarterbacks that are up?
It's supposed to be a really good draft. I can't remember all the names, but it's supposed to be a really good QB draft this year.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
This year should be pretty good.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. Again, I agree. I mean, I think Matt Ryan's good. I don't think he's as good as some people think he is because he had a lot of help in Atlanta. But again, a lot of that was him. He got an MVP, so he's still good. But I don't think he's as good as he was. The run game for Denver was bad. The run game for the Colts was bad because Jonathan Taylor. Everything was bad.
Everything was bad. Broncos. I don't know. They need to figure it out.
The only reason I watched it because I'm a masochist.
Yeah, it was just tough. It was tough to watch.
Are we allowed to sue Amazon for having to watch this game?
Yeah, and we'll talk about this later. But I don't think this next game is going to be that good. It is Carson Wentz versus Justin Fields.
I'm not going to sue for that one though.
Yeah.
We could go when we do predictions. Well, I got some choice words.
So again, we want to get off this game as quick as possible. Basic takeaways are that the Denver needs to turn around. They need to find something that works. They really do. And the Colts need to find something that works for them as well. Colts need more blocking. Denver needs to get a better scheme going. It seems like, Russell Wilson's going out there not knowing what to do and stuff's not running around well. Maybe his receivers aren't as good as they are, but again, I still think Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy are good enough. I still think they're good enough.
Something I found out for this week also, Nathaniel Hackett, he was the offensive coordinator for the Jaguars in 2018. They were bad.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on from the Thursday night game and get into some of our Sunday games. First game from London, Governor.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah,
my
wife didn't because she's a Packers fan, but
I loved this game so much.
Daniel Jones went out and had a really good performance. Only took 1 sack, completed 21 out of 27 for 217 with an average of 8, and a rating of 75.4 because he threw no TDs, which was odd. But again, Saquon is back. Aaron Rodgers went out 25 for 39 for 222 yards with a 5.7 average with no interceptions and 2 touchdowns. His QBR was 53.4, probably because of his incompletions. That Barkley only had 70 yards of rushing, which isn't a ton, but not insane. Did have a TD that he did via Wildcat, which I thought was really cool. It was just a hard-fought, tough game. The Packers double running back scheme didn't work out too great. Aaron Jones had 63 yards, AJ Dillon had 34. And then Packers were going crazy with receiving. 99 yards for Randall Cobb, the old man. Alan Lazard at 35. Romeo Doubs had 29. Darius Slay at 79 and Saquon Barkley at 36. Saquon really starting to look like a really even better dual threat back out of the backfield now. But again, when it comes down to it in the very end, even though the Green Bay Packers were up 20-10 in the half, the Giants come back and basically the Giants basically didn't allow any points the entire second half. That 2 points you see in the fourth quarter was an intentional safety they took to waste time. So I don't know how, but the Giants turned it around and did an amazing job and somehow came up with a win in London.
Hey, whenever I see the Packers lose, it's a good day for me. All right. But second half, like Rodgers could not find the end zone at all. Even field goals too, like nothing. So very strange. I don't know if they changed play calling or if they did something different the second half, but I mean, props to the Giants. They're 4-1 now. I mean, they look legit.
I'm seeing props to Giants.
Yeah, I mean, Saquon's killing it right now. Daniel Jones is actually pretty decent. He even had some rushing yards too. Maybe the good old bootlegs from him. But
Daniel Jones is that's the thing that people don't give him credit to Daniel Jones. He's like quick enough. He's not insanely fast, but he's quick enough.
Everyone remembers him tripping. That's why.
Fair enough. Very fair. Very, very fair.
Yeah. I mean, he came from Duke, and that's all I'd say about that one. But I think Dabble is actually doing he did something that Ben McAdoo and Joe Judge have not done, actually having a winning record right now.
Yeah.
I gotta give credits to Dabble right now. When Eagles face against the Giants, I'm scared. I think the Eagles can win it, but Giants could actually take a game off them.
Yeah.
And Green Bay, you have AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones. You have not run that much in the second half. Why? You're just having Rodgers throw or
AJ Dillon. AJ Dillon will always get you a yard. Jones can break out some big runs. Yeah. So I know what to do. Also, one of the first games back for Kayvon Thibodeau, the rookie out of Oregon, I believe. 3 double sacks, 2 of them solo, and 2 passes defended. So a good performance off the edge for him. That was done very well.
Scared of him.
Yeah,
I am scared of Thibodeau.
Yeah, he's getting better and better ever since he came at that block wrong that the Bengals threw at him in preseason. But anyway, Green Bay takes a loss in London by 5 to the Giants. That was the 9 a.m. game for those of you that didn't catch it, which is most everybody. Oh, man. I love this. Bengals didn't win this week, but golly. When the Steelers lose by 35, it's a good week in Cincinnati. It is a good week in Cincinnati. Holy moly, did the Bills show up. I remember the first play of the game, I think it was the kick returner for the Bills just absolutely muffed the kick and kind of fell on it. And it was down at the 2 or the 3. And I'm like, oh, that's going to be, Steelers going to get the ball back. They're going to do this. They're going to do that, blah, blah, blah. And then Josh Allen on 3rd down and 12 throws a 90-yard bomb or something. Well, throws a 50-yard bomb and runs into a 90-yard run for one of his receivers. Which is disgusting.
That was Gabriel Davis. That was Gabriel Davis.
Gabriel Davis, 171 yards for Gabriel Davis, 102 for Stephon Diggs, 25 for Khalil Shakir. Who is this man? Who? Khalil Shakir. Props to you, man.
Where did he came from? Boise State.
Boise State. Oh my goodness. So when you have Khalil Shakir putting up 75 yards and a touchdown with a 25-yard average on receptions against the Steelers, it's a good day for the Bills. I like it when the Bills are good. I know that in the AFC, I'm a Bengals fan, and they headbutt each other a lot during a lot of the runs the Bengals had before I was even born. But I like the Bills when they're playing good. It's fun to see a small town team play well, like the Bills, the Bengals, the Bears. No one lives in Chicago.
When we pull up the Eagles, I'm going to ask you two or both of you guys a question. Right. I won't say yet.
Yeah.
But,
two things I want to talk about. Actually, kind of 3. Focusing on the Steelers first. Kenny Pickett, 34 for 52. Again, Steelers don't have much of a no line. Took 3 sacks. He only threw 1 interception, but didn't look great. Still had 327 yards, which was pretty nice, but a lot of that was not an insane long average, only a 6.3 average. Najee Harris looked bad. 11 carries, 20 yards, 1.8 average with only a 6-yard long run. And then, and then also George Pickens had 83 yards in total for 6 receptions, which looks pretty good. Again, I'm terrified of George Pickens. He is going to be a menace against any AFC North team for a long time. I don't even want to count the number of fights he's going to have. There's probably more grains of sand in the world than there are fights in George Pickens' future.
Fantasy wise, I mean, if you have Najee Harris, oh my god, you're probably super mad right now.
Yeah, he's not getting a ton of touches,
producing at all. Yeah,
but
it's unfortunate.
Rushing in this game was so weird. If you would have told me Josh Allen and Jaylen Warren would have led their teams respectively in rushing, I'd have said you're crazy. But yeah, Josh Allen
Bills
tied
have
for
no running back.
They don't. I mean, Devin Singletary is okay, but he's not doing insane. Again, they played a lot of guys. They had Zach Moss and James Cook also run, but Josh Allen was the leading rusher. I keep seeing a bunch of these like posts on Twitter or Instagram talking about how the Panthers are probably going to rebuild. And with Christian McCaffrey getting older and older and his injury issues only getting worse and worse, except for this year, knock on wood, he's been doing great, at least by staying healthy. A team that's passed first to the degree that Buffalo is, it might be a good idea to consider a trade for Christian McCaffrey. Pull a Rams, throw away some of your picks. I think it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think McCaffrey could both receive and rush. So, like, he would fit in that system perfectly.
Also, he seems like a Bills guy. You know, you think of the Bills, you think of Bruce Smith, you think of not O.J. Simpson, you think of
Jim Kelly.
Oh, yeah. Jim Kelly, and then they had a really good Dave Delamere. You think of these hard-nosed, from the ground, blue-collar kind of guy. Christian McCaffrey's kind of that guy. He puts in the work, does everything he can. He's had a lot of injuries that have slowed him down, but like a really tough-nosed kind of guy.
You're saying Stanford is blue-collar?
Well, no, not Stanford, but McCaffrey, what he's done in the league has been really – he's not super flashy. McCaffrey's not like, blazing fast, but he's fast enough and he's strong enough to do a lot from the receiving back position. And he's, been amazing in the times that he's healthy, which is his biggest issue.
My big thing I see with this game, there's no TJ Watt for the Steelers. They have no D-line to pressure QBs.
Yeah, I don't think Josh Allen took any. Yeah, Josh Allen took no sacks. Case Keenum took no sacks, but somehow had negative rushing yards. I think because he needed.
Yeah. I think at this point with the Steelers, they know they're not going to win a lot of games, so pretty much rebuild mode. Put Kenny Pickett out there, let him learn from his mistakes and things like that. Get him to improve, and then just look and see what happens next year.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put. I am not going to this year. I am not putting against Kenny Pickett for this game because even with the Bills secondary being injured, they're still a good defensive team.
Oh yeah,
like their D-line, their linebackers, like Jesus.
That's the thing with the D-line. Cameron Hayward always draws 2 people, and I think the biggest issue with that is he's 33, and if you're going to go through a rebuild, I don't know if you're going to be able to keep him. So is it worth keeping Cameron Hayward, or do you trade him to a team that needs another interior lineman for some picks or a young prospect?
The Bills are still the second best defense in the NFL, I'm pretty sure.
No, I'm talking about Cameron Hayward for the Steelers.
Oh, sorry.
The Steelers. Yeah. Cameron Hayward,
I was
Steelers.
talking about Mastodon, what he was saying.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
what do you do with Cameron Hayward? 33? Do you keep him for this rebuilding period? Do you get rid of him? Because you're keeping Minkah Fitzpatrick. He's phenomenal.
Keep Fitzpatrick. TJ Watt's already signed. They gave guaranteed. That's like the first time they ever gave guaranteed money.
Right, those guys are young. Those guys are both under 30.
Yeah. I mean, Cameron Hayward, what's his contract? Is he still going to be there for a couple years?
Does
I don't think it gives the.
It should. Like it should. Doesn't.
I mean, that could be. I could look that up later. But
hot take. What do you guys think if the Steelers GM trades Watt for some like really good picks in the draft?
No.
Watt? No.
Okay. This is hot take. Great
idea, but do that with Cameron Hayward. Cameron Hayward's still great, but he's 33. So trade him for some draft picks. Don't trade
defensive
player of the year under 30. One of the best rushers the Steelers have literally ever had, at least to this rate. Yeah, literally. Okay. I'm sorry, but that was a stupid with two O's idea. I'm sorry. Sorry about it, but I'm going to call it like it is.
If the Steelers were going to trade a defensive player, I could see Hayward for a team that's on a win-now mode, needs a rusher, like a pass rusher. I mean, that's who I could see being traded.
Bengals.
I'm trying to think of anybody else. Or Devin Bush, maybe trade.
Holy shit, if the Bengals traded for him, gave up... Dude, Cameron Hayward and when he gets back, DJ Reader in the middle. Plus you have Sam Hubbard and Trey Hendrickson on the edge.
But what would you trade them for? Like, what would the Bengals give up?
Yeah, what do the Bengals have?
Because you don't want to fuck up their offense.
Yeah.
Because they have, I know they have a lot of weapons, but
Eli Apple. I would give up Eli Apple in a first round draft pick.
I like getting that trade through. I mean,
giving the first round draft pick would probably be the tipping point to get the Cameron Hayward.
Yeah,
I could see that. That one I can see. But yeah, I'm not going to put anything against Pickett. Bill's still a great defense, even with injuries to secondary.
Amazing. So. But again, absolute torching. Bills at home smoke the Steelers by 35. Moving on, the next 1 o'clock game. Let's go back here. All right, Chargers, Browns. Another loss for an AFC North team, but close. This one came down to the wire. I believe it was the Chargers decided to go for it on 4th down at like midfield instead of punting it away.
40. At their 40.
At their 40. Why? I don't know. Austin Eckler, who was not Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen, who was out for the game, was even like tweeting like, "What the fuck are we doing, fellas?" Like, it was interesting. But again, the Cleveland Browns don't make the field goal to win the game. Chargers sneak out a win in Cleveland, 30-28.
Chargers got lucky.
Fucking not an insane performance from Justin Herbert. 22 for 34, 228, 6.7 average. Only took 1 sack and threw interceptions, but with 1 TD. 40.8 quarterback rating. Jacoby Brissett, 21 for 34, 230, 6.8 average, threw 1 pick, took no sack with a QB rating of 80.9. On paper, besides the interception, Jacoby Brissett outplayed Justin Herbert. Now, obviously, the interception's a big takeaway, but the rating is fucking double. The completion percentage is higher. The yards are higher.
Look at Eckler. You fucking
look at the rushing. That's basically the whole game
on his back. That's
Austin Eckler rushing for 173 yards with a 10.8 average. That is a first down every 16 times he carried the football. 71-yard long, and on the other side, they were running good too. Nick Chubb, 134 yards, Kareem Hunt, 47 yards, and Jacoby Brissett scrambled for 32 yards with a 10.7 average. So this was a run-heavy game. I love run-heavy games. I'm an old head. Love run-heavy games.
Eckler had the most amount of points this week in fantasy. So, 30,
really? Even more than Gabriel Davis?
Yeah, more than Gabriel Davis. Gabriel had 32.1. Eckler had 35.9 because Eckler catch?
It was close.
Eckler catch too. Okay. So he had almost 200 yards total.
Yeah, okay. No, I can see that. Yeah.
Also, Mike Williams goes out and gets 134 yards receiving for the Chargers, and then Njoku also went out and got 88. Again, Njoku proving he's worth that contract. A lot of people were kind of skeptical, like, is he worth it? Is he not? He's looked like a poor man's Kyle Pitts from last year. Because Kyle Pitts this year has been awful, but last year Kyle Pitts was really good. So, yeah. Denzel Ward showing out for the Cleveland defense. And
I didn't know Cleveland was on the Chargers.
Clowney was actually back because I knew
Clowney
was
Garrett. Clowney was back, and then Garrett also as well. But neither of them got a sack. Only sack was by Jacob Phillips, and there were no sacks for the Los Angeles Chargers, which is insane. Bosa's out, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's their elite rusher is just Khalil Mack. who again is an outside linebacker. And coming from a size perspective, especially against this Cleveland O-line, which is the most underrated O-line in football right now. Because you think of good O-lines, you think of the Patriots, for some reason, always have a good O-line. I don't know what they're drinking in Foxborough, but it's there. Then you have the Buccaneers, because you got to protect Brady, got to. And then the Eagles, who just have the Eagles, who are the best, who have just like all-stars at basically all 5 positions. And that one fucking rugby player that's like, 7'11", 370 pounds. That can was it Ryan Johnson or something? Didn't he play rugby?
Mileta got hurt.
Oh, Mileta
last week. He got hurt 2 weeks ago. He didn't play.
But like Kelsey,
Dillard
Ryan Johnson, Dillard,
Lane Johnson is Lane Johnson's right tackle. Yeah. You have Sumalu. You have I had him in my head, but I can't remember.
Well, you're even forgetting Kelsey. He's probably the best center we've had since like Jeff Saturday.
He's so undersized too, which is actually pretty funny.
But he's still that good though. But yeah, but then you look at Cleveland. Cleveland's got an amazing O-line. So when Khalil Mack is rushing around the edge and he's coming into closer contact with these huge tackles, I don't think he's going to win many of those because he's super fast and he's great. But at the same time, this Browns O-line is phenomenal. But yeah, weird play calling by the Chargers. They should have lost this game. I'm glad they didn't as a Bengals fan. But any takeaways from this, or just Browns being the Browns?
Right, just Browns being the Browns. They're Browns and kickers don't go together.
Yeah. All right, moving on, keeping it rolling. We're going down to the Bears.
Bears. Oh my God.
There's the Vikings.
It wasn't a bad game for Justin Fields. It was not a bad game.
He was doing a lot better. David Montgomery's back.
Yeah.
Montgomery's back, but they were using him as a receiver more than a running back.
No, he had the most carries though. He had 12 carries. Everyone else had 8 or 4.
Yeah, but 1.7 average.
Yeah,
he wasn't doing much. Well, to be fair, the Bears line is garbage. So
yeah. Well, but look what Joe Mixon did last year. On the Bengals, who had the worst O-line in football, Joe Mixon went out and had a Pro Bowl season.
Well, so they weren't the worst O-line in football. That was Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, we had Hakeem Adeniji, who can't turn his head. Jonah Williams was doing okay. We had Riley Reif, who is still in the NFL. Yeah, actually on the Bears. So that's interesting. But yeah, Justin Fields, 15 for 21 for 208 yards, a 9.9 average. Took 2 sacks, but threw no picks. Kirk Cousins, always got to throw a pick in there, so he had 1, but for 296 in total. 32 for 41 with a 7.2 average. And Justin Jefferson also throwing a pass. 1 for 1 for 23 yards.
Oh, boy.
The rushing game was terrible for Chicago. 47 yards for Fields, who was their leading rusher. David Montgomery, who was their main running back, only had 20 yards on 12 carries on a 1.7 average, as Mamba alluded to earlier. On the other side, Dalvin Cook doing what Dalvin Cook does. 18 carries for 94 yards with a 5.2 average and 2 TDs. Very solid game from him. Justin Jefferson going out and torching the Bears defense, 154 yards on 12 reception. Yeah. Bears highest receiver had 62. That was less than half of Justin Jefferson's. Justin Jefferson,
that's not an actual wide receiver.
Yeah, that's
a funny
so
part.
yeah. Wait, so is Darnell Mooney a wide receiver?
Yes,
Mooney's
so
a
that's
wide receiver.
So yeah,
you had that one massive catch.
Yeah, so you had Montgomery, who's a running back, who had 62. Darnell Mooney, who was a wide receiver, who only had 2 receptions for 52 yards, and then you had Cole Kmet, who was a tight end, who only had 45 yards on 4 receptions. So
yeah, I mean, real quick, I mean, it seems like the Bears are like past few weeks have been a second half team. Like first half, I don't know where they are. They just seem lost, and then second half they figure it out. They were crawling back in this game. I was watching it at my aunt's place, but yeah,
I would be very
back.
Go ahead.
Go. I was gonna say they were crawling back until that last drive from the Vikings in the fourth quarter.
I'd be very concerned about the Vikings defense, honestly.
The Vikings. Who was it that stripped the ball away from?
Oh my God!
That was just yoink.
That was
just took it straight out of his hands. I'm just that's the Bears I know and love.
Punt returns, kick returns, interception, fumbles.
Jalen Reagor gave up the fumble. Hey, Jalen Reagor.
Reagor.
Hey, Minnesota. How do you love Jalen Reagor?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So,
was he an Eagles guy?
Yeah, he was the first round pick in 2020 for the Eagles.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Jalen Reagor.
Yep. Subtraction by addition by subtraction.
Still
he still has the
uniform.
Eagles jersey.
They still have the Eagles jersey on ESPN.
Because they traded him. They traded him right before preseason, or like right before the season started.
Yep.
Well,
and then I think it was
fumble strip.
Dantzler. Yeah, Dantzler was the guy who got he ripped the fumble out of the last play that caused not the last play, but near the end of the game that caused the Vikings to put it away as the Bears were trying to make a drive. Yeah.
That was just more good play rather than the Bears. Like the Bears I think you have a good coach for you. You got rid of Pace as your GM.
You got to make some
Nagy's not there. It's just a young team. Like,
get a new stadium, get a new O-line, go out and find the next Derrick Henry, get the train whistle going, play some old school hard-nosed Bears football,
I mean, at this point, the Bears, they just need to. Oh wait, do they have a pick for this upcoming draft?
They should. For the first round, yeah, you guys definitely would.
All right.
Because you traded Khalil Mack, so you're gonna have a pick from the.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
Moving on from the Bears, we're going to another organization that's struggling. The Lions got blanked by New England, in Foxborough, 29-0. Jared Goff, 19 for 35 for 229 yards and a 6.5 average.
I just saw our predictions for this game.
Yeah, didn't we all call the Lions? Did we all go Lions?
Because we thought they would. I mean, weren't they last week the best?
They were doing
offense?
good. Yeah, TJ Hawkins decided to go off.
Yards, right?
They still had the most points in the whole NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Patriots defense was just on their game.
Patriots defense is always good for some reason, and all of a sudden Bailey Zappi looks good, at least to back up right now. 17 for 21, 188 yards, 9.0 average, 1 TD, 1 interception. Bad QBR, but that's probably because he only threw 21 total. But
I mean,
then
Rahamondre
Stevenson, 25 carries, 161 yards on a 6.4 average. Damian Harris also getting 11 yards. They did phenomenal in that front. Also, Jacoby Myers with 111 receiving yards on 7 catches, and Hunter Henry, one of the better tight ends on that roster, getting 54 yards and 4 catches. The Lions only had 56 rushing yards from Jamal Williams and 92 receiving yards from Josh Reynolds, and Amon-Ra St. Brown held to 18 yards on 4 receptions. TJ Hawkinson held to 6 yards on 1 receptions, really underperforming in that category for them.
I mean,
otherwise,
the Lions have no defense at all.
Yeah,
like zero.
The discrepancy,
it's
the discrepancy between the Lions defense, which is held up by a couple key guys, and the amount of total tackles that you see. This is on a stat sheet. This is how you can tell who has a good defense when you see, 5 tackles, like 5 or 6 guys with 4 tackles, and then a ton of guys with 3 and 2. People are coming together and gang tackling and making sure that they are working together as a unit, while a lot of this Detroit Lions scheme seems to be they're a lot separated. Aiden Hutchinson didn't perform too well, only 2 total tackles, both solo.
You want a funny stat about the Lions defense?
What's that?
So on what is it? PPR fantasy points, the Lions have -3 points this season. Total. -3.
I mean, I could see that. Yeah, after the Eagles game, you had the Seahawks game. Yeah. I mean, it's just the Patriots just pants the Lions offense. And how you saying the 5-5-5-5? Like, are they like they're all defensive linemen and linebackers too, aren't they? That was getting like the most tackles.
Yep.
On the Patriots. So it's like they stopped the run. They're not Goff wasn't able to do anything. So coaching, I would say for that one, it's definitely coaching.
Something happened. It was bad. Again, I mean, Belichick wins easy games like this heavily. So
he doesn't want Zappy to take a shit on the field. He did not. So Patriots win.
Yep. Lions got blanked. Another fun stat, actually NCAA fun stat. The last time Iowa State won their division, the Ottoman Empire was still around. Check the times. That's right. Anyway, moving on. The Saints are a step closer to completing the Bird Gauntlet. They will play all of the Bird teams this year: Falcons, Seahawks, Ravens, Eagles. Who else is there? I'm blanking on the others. Cardinals. Yeah, Cardinals. That's all 5. So currently they have already played the Seahawks, and then they beat one of those other teams. I think they beat the Falcons already, too. Yeah, Falcons. They beat the Falcons already. So they've completed 2. They just need to get the other 3, and they've completed the Bird Gauntlet. So Geno Smith, again, showing why he should have played instead of Russell Wilson for all that time, because maybe he would have ran the ball at the 1-yard line. Anyway, 16 for 25 for 268 yards and a 10.7 average with no interceptions and 3 touchdowns. But he was outperformed by a tight end, Taysom Hill, who had 1 throw for 22 yards, which was a touchdown, even though Andy Dalton did perform pretty well, 187 yards and 16 over 24 with a 7.8 average. But yeah, Taysom Hill, this is all about Taysom Hill. 1 pass for one pass for 1 reception, 22 yards for a touchdown. Taysom Hill, 9 carries for 112 yards and 3 touchdowns. And then Taysom Hill recovered a fumble, and did he get any tackles?
That would have been off a kickoff because he usually plays special teams. He doesn't play defense.
New Orleans kick returns. He had 3 kick returns for 69 yards.
Yeah.
Huh?
Taysom Hill is Taysom Hill is a football player, and he's insane for it.
You know what sucks? He's considered a tight end in fantasy.
Does he still get the throwing yards, though?
Yes. Even as a tight end. If you put him in tight end, he still gets throwing yards. Because Justin Jefferson got throwing yards as a wide receiver, and he got yards this week. So when someone picks up...
So is Taysom Hill the Shohei Ohtani of football?
Pretty much.
He is the Mormon Tim Tebow, so...
Yeah.
The Mormon Tim Tebow.
I don't know, so...
Yeah.
I mean, so I'm trying
to
understand Taysom.
You have even though it's 1 kid, he has the same amount of TDs as Andy Dalton, more rushing yards than Alvin Kamara, and recovered a fumble, and has the most amount of TDs total.
Well, okay,
this is Denard Robinson type of shit, honestly.
Yeah, but look at Taysom Hill's long. That was a 60-yarder at the end of the game too.
Yeah,
that probably sealed the deal.
Yeah. So I mean, So what is Saints like? What are they trying to do with Taysom Hill? Is he just jack of all trades, just throwing him everywhere?
This man is a living Swiss Army knife of football. Like the stats just show it.
Look at the past 3 years when Sean Payne was there. He used him as QB, used him as tight end, used him on special teams.
That's what I understand. If the guy can play football, let the guy play football. He's going insane. Yeah, Alvin Kamara and him is a dangerous combo. On a speed option, you're telling me you're either going to let Kamara get the pitch or let Taysom Hill just put his shoulder down and run through your linebacker? It's insane.
They could trade Mark Ingram.
I think a big thing for fantasy owners, though, I would pick up Kenneth Walker III if you don't have running backs.
Yep, Rashad
Penny got hurt, and Kenneth Walker III is now going to be getting a lot of carries. And if he does anything of what he did at Michigan State, he's going to be a decent to good running back in this league.
I picked him up this week.
Yeah, I had him from the beginning because I'm in a bigger league. So,
wait, you picked him up in our league? Mastodon?
No. Oh
no!
Wait,
I'm in
you're not in our league.
Yeah, I'm in my college friends. But
okay.
But yeah,
Someone
Seahawks defense. Yes, Seahawks defense is still iffy. I mean, they're rebuilding, but Geno Smith is. I'm not going to
surprise. Honestly, surprise quarterbacks. Surprise quarterbacks for this year have been Geno Smith and Cooper Rush, who we will talk about in a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, New Orleans Saints pull out the victory by 7 on the back of Taysom Hill, which is probably broke for carrying this team at this point. Anyway,
he's still on his contract extension.
Yeah, Jets and Dolphins, which was a very surprising score. Not many people predicted this. The Jets go out and put 40 on the Dolphins to their 17. Teddy Bridgewater getting hurt in this game, going back again to the new concussion protocol that came up. If you have any sign of, I believe it's apraxia, is the correct term. I should know this. I'm in medical school for crying out loud, but I can't remember the name of it right now. But if you have any sign of any motor or cognitive speech function impairment at all, regardless of if you pass your concussion test or if you don't, you will be sidelined for the remainder of the game. So he fell victim to that and was not able to return to the game despite how he felt. So it was up to Skylar Thompson, who wasn't awful, 19 for 33 for 166 with a 5-yard average, no TDs and an interception with a QBR of 2.9, taking 2 sacks. Not great. Zach Wilson, hide your mother, 14 for 21, 210 with an average of 10 yards and 2 sacks with a 53.3 QB rating. Again, not great for him. The standout player here was Breece Hall. The Jets, I believe, first round, well, one of their 300 first round picks. God,
he's a rookie. He is a rookie.
Yeah.
He is a 18, rookie. He's an RB1
18
rookie.
carries. Yeah, 18 carries for 97 yards and a 5.4 average and 1 touchdown. Also, Michael Carter getting 21 yards, but 2 touchdowns, being their kind of, short yard back. Breece Hall also having 100 yards receiving and 2 receptions in total, with an average of 50 yards per, which is insane.
I did say last week, keep an eye out for Breece Hall. That guy.
So, yeah. Breece Hall had more rushing and more receiving yards.
14.
Yeah. New York, Breece Hall had more receiving and rushing yards than Tyreek Hill. If you would have told me that week 1, I would have been like, you're smoking dope. You are on, stay off the weed.
I think
he
because
got a
of
lot
Teddy,
of points this week.
Yeah. I think because of Teddy Bridgewater, the Bridgewater injury did not help.
The what Bridgewater?
Dude, he just freaking
injury, the Bridgewater
Taylor.
injury.
Oh my god.
The Titty Bridgewater injury?
It's not Mitch kissing titties. But no, just that injury to Bridgewater did not help. You're putting in another rookie, 7th round rookie like Zappy. Is just the Dolphins not as difference between Patriots and Dolphins with coaching, but
I'm noticing something this season. There's a lot of 3rd string quarterbacks out there.
Cooper Rush isn't 3rd, but backups, I would say,
well, 2nd. Backups,
yeah. Skylar Thompson and Teddy Bridgewater. Bailey Zappi and
Dalton.
Technically Garoppolo.
No, you can't call Garoppolo a backup.
I mean,
he's a backup this year. He's a backup this year.
You have to. He is a backup.
I guess that's fair. I guess Trey Lance did start
off Trey
for
Lance.
that terrible injury. Yeah. But yeah, Dolphins defense, 10 tackles for CJ Mosley, 10 tackles for Kayvon Alexander. Those are total 7-6 respectively. So Jets defense coming out very well and performing very well in that. And Sauce Gardner with his first interception as well. Good to see the Cincinnati rookie doing something.
Miami's going to figure it out. I mean, they just need their quarterbacks back.
Is it Jets and Bills tied?
Oh,
they both have 2 losses.
Go back.
Isn't it a 3-way tie? Because all 3 of them have 3 wins and 2 losses.
The Bills are 4-1. No,
those are 4-1.
Okay, sorry. I thought they lost on that one. Sorry.
Yeah. New England at the bottom of the AFC East for the first time in probably a long time at this point in the season.
To be fair, when's the last time you've seen the Jets over 500?
A long time, but
when was Chad Pennington in the league? Oh my goodness!
What was
2001?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mark Sanchez. But I think the Jets are they have a decent coach to help them. They're in a good situation. They're just trying to get some more stuff.
Moving on. Yeah, moving on to the Falcons and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yes, we'll talk about that. You want to start with it instead of looking at the stats then going into it?
Okay, let's start with the stats and let's talk about Rafael.
Marcus Mariota went out, had a decent game, 14 for 25, 147 total, 5.9 average with 1 TD, but taking 5 sacks from this Tampa Bay defense. Tom Brady, 35 for 52. That is a lot of passing attempts. 351 yards with a 6.8 average, 1 TD, no interceptions, no sacks, technically, for a 46.3 QBR. Again, Fournette looking like Eddie Lacy, 56 yards total on 14 carries. Mariota was the lead rusher for Atlanta. And Leonard Fournette was also somehow the lead receiver, 83 yards and 10 receptions. Mike Evans only had 81. Chris Godwin only had 61. Again, this Tampa Bay receiving core is looking bad. But again, the leading
had the yeah. I mean, Fournette had the most amount of fantasy points.
The leading receiver for Atlanta was Omalande Zacchaeus.
Yeah,
So
what happened to Drake London this game?
Yeah, Drake London didn't perform. Wasn't Kyle Pitts also out too, or was he in? Doesn't matter. He had nothing. He had literally nothing.
But Tampa Bay defense is still good. It's their O-line is very injured. That's a big thing. So their O-line's injured. So he has to throw the ball quick. So look, check down.
Tom Brady's always thrown the ball quick. Tom Brady is a phenomenal.
True.
He's the best quarterback that's been throwing in these short distances since Joe Montana, and even then, he's better than Joe Montana in the short distance. He loves. Yeah. There's a reason why Bill Belichick would grab grocery shopping bag operators from the local Wally World and have them catch touchdowns. Julian Edelman, Wes Welker. There was another short white guy in that team that I can't remember the name of.
Amendola.
Amendola. Those are fucking clones. You cannot tell me those three guys aren't clones. They're all like 5'9" and run a 4.6, okay? And they have great hands, okay? Like, so, and when Cole Beasley retired, I'm like, they're screwed, you know? Like, they don't have that short white guy they can run. But then also, I want to take a look at Kyle Rudolph. 1 target, no stats. They wanted to go out and get a guy. They wanted the Vikings Kyle Rudolph, and they got like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer Rudolph with no hands. Like the
Rudolph
Kyle
the
Rudolph
reindeer.
Yeah, Rudolph needs to show out a little bit more because they're missing Gronk.
Red nose? Oh,
they are missing. They are missing Gronk heavily. They're missing Gronk heavily.
They are.
But again, this Tampa Bay defense doing a great job, playing very well. They're holding up this Atlanta Falcons team. Shaquille Barrett and Anthony Wilford Jr. doing very well. And with Dadrian Sanat, who came out very well. Carl Nassib has done a great job filling in for Jason Pierre-Paul, who left for the Ravens. Villa, honestly, the stats don't show it a ton, but he is an explosive defensive interior lineman and is probably going to be the best lineman until Jordan Davis decides to get mean. But yeah, now we have to talk about.
I have choice words on the Eagles defense later on.
Yeah, but
we need to talk.
We need to talk about the roughing the passer. We're not. I don't think we're allowed to show the clip because with the NFL's copyright and trademark, we don't want to get in any of that legal trouble. But regardless,
you'll see it on YouTube. You'll see it.
If you look up the Falcons Buccaneers roughing the passer call, it was wasn't it Jarrett? Yeah, Grady Jarrett came in and tackled Tom Brady and didn't go low, didn't go high. He had his hands directly around his waist, and then he rolled him to the ground in a similar fashion that Tua was kind of rolled, but Tom Brady landed on his side. Tom Brady's taking a ton of hits. He knows how to take a hit. Landed on his side and fell over. Jarrett got up. It wasn't a super quick tackle, kind of rolled him to the ground and went, but there was a flag thrown. The reason that flag was thrown is because...
by the way. The video I sent in the Discord. You could show that one. It's so funny, but
so
like,
funny.
Yeah, this one you won't get copyrighted for.
Yeah,
let me see here. I might have to download it, so hold on.
Really?
Really? Oh, you removed us.
Yeah, I have to, or else it's gonna screw up.
Well, we could continue talking a while, but yeah. I mean, his head didn't snap or anything. Like, it wasn't to the level of Tua or anything like that. Just a straightforward tackle, and they called that. I mean, I understand the refs are being super preemptive because of what happened to Tua, but like, come on.
You know the reason, like the actual ref, Jerome Bejos, I think that's the ref's name, who a lot of people hate. You know what his reasoning was? Is because he threw him down too hard.
How? That wasn't even that hard. Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. You should bring up our faces back, though. But is the audio working?
I don't need the audio.
It's not working. Yeah, that's
yeah, that's pretty much what happened there.
Yeah.
Just, put him this way. You know what I mean?
And it wasn't like he threw him after the whistle too. It was like It was like the whistle called right when he was going to ground.
Did not
too,
read a
so.
bedtime story. Oh my lord! All right.
Yeah, no.
So basically, again, rolled to the side and thrown down, but not aggressively. I mean, if you were to go look at some of the hits, like guys like Drew Bledsoe or whoever that one, what was it?
Look at the Brian Dog.
The Redskins quarterback that got like torn up by Lawrence Taylor.
He was a running back, I thought.
No, there was a quarterback that was torn up.
Yeah, that was in the 80s or 90s. Oh, fuck.
Yeah. But regardless, I mean, the hit was not malice. The hit was not overly aggressive. It was a terrible call routine. That was only called because of the unfortunate event that happened to Tua with a similar style of tackle. But again, both those tackles are completely legal. Wrapping up by the waist and just throwing him to the ground.
And I was actually talking to my dad about. Oh, go for it first. You go first.
I was about to say if Falcons had Cordero Patterson, would that also made a difference?
Possibly. I mean, he's a very explosive player.
Yeah, like
again,
it could have helped.
So I was talking to my dad about this. The league now is very much an offensive league. It's not a defensive league
because of the money.
Yeah,
I mean
that's why they get their money.
Did you like watching Russell Wilson say "Let's ride" 80 times and burn down Mile High Stadium while trying to cook a grilled cheese with sardines?
Yeah.
No, you don't like defensive games. No one does.
That's not even a defensive game. That's just a competent offense / coaching.
No, yeah. I mean, the thing I'm just saying is because the NFL now is like they're trying to be very protective of the quarterbacks, like head injuries, things like that. So the defense, they can't just fly around like they used to.
Yeah, but I mean, they had to change something, especially after especially after Junior Seau. You can't just act like it isn't happening. You know, with the CTE and the issues. So they had to change something, and it just keeps getting worse.
That's why I'm saying this is now a very offensive league.
Oh no! Don't say soft. It's soft. No, it's soft.
No.
Oh, it's soft. Ever since they moved the kickoff line, like that close to the 50, there's no kickoff. We're never going to see a Devin Hester again. We're never going to see a Deion Sanders kick returner again. We're never going to see a it's not Charles Woodson, the other Michigan guy. Crap, I can't remember. Charles Woodson and there's a Michigan punt returner. No, Michigan punt returner that got that got a Super Bowl win with Favre's Packers. I can't remember his name.
That's Charles Woodson. That's Woodson.
No, that wasn't Woodson. That was somebody else. I thought he won the Heisman.
Was Woodson?
No.
Is he on? He's on College Game Day.
No, Desmond Howard. Desmond Howard. You're never gonna see punt returners and kick returners like that because any punter or kicker that's decent in the league can kick it through the fucking uprights.
Yeah,
from 40 yards.
I mean, that's just how it goes. Like, do you just go like, hey, you just start at 25 instead of letting them try? Like, I don't think that was because of rules for that one. I think it's just kickers and punters.
It used to be further back to where kickers would struggle to get it that far. Even Vinatieri, if he did kickoffs, couldn't get it that far.
I don't know. Joey Sly could kick fucking 70-yarder.
Oh, yeah. No, you still had guys like, who was the Raiders kicker that would like drink a 12-pack and go play? He was like Polish. He was Polish. Big guy.
Moral of the story though is if you're a GM in this league, you should be building around your offense more than your defense because I mean it's just the way the rules are currently, and you can't fly around and hit people. So.
I'm gonna challenge that. I'm gonna challenge that.
Really?
Legion of Boom.
That was before
Legion of Boom. No, there was still defensive and pass interference. There was still defensive pass interference at that time.
They're calling it more now because people are getting it because NFL gets more money from the offense.
No, did you watch the Rams and the Saints that one year? When that guy got blown up before the ball even got to him.
When the Saints,
that was after the Legion of Boom.
Players were getting paid to.
That's just because that was ref incompetence. That was ref incompetence, not trying for anything.
I still say that you can still win with a defense that's better than your offense. Legion of Boom was one of the better defenses we've seen.
True.
Legion of Boom was one of the best defenses we've seen since Tony Dungy's and John Gruden's Bucks, or even the '85 Bears. They were insane defense. Bam Bam Cam, Bobby Wagner. Richard Sherman.
If you've seen the last couple of years of Super Bowl,
Bam Bam
if you've seen the last couple of years of Super Bowl winners, it has been because of their offenses, not because of their defenses.
No, Buccaneers defense won them that Super Bowl against the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes was running around like a chicken with its head cut off.
I mean, okay.
And, also there was 2 offensive linemen out too for the Chiefs.
But where's more money going to? It's going to the offense.
Oh yeah, more money's going to the offense because people see the offensive, players play more.
Yeah.
But are you telling me would I rather have high-paid Ezekiel Elliott, or would I rather have AJ Terrell? I'm gonna have AJ Terrell.
That's a fair point.
Sorry about it, but yeah. So
help me out with the Zeke part because
Zeke.
But yeah, no.
Trade Zeke, trade Dak. Let's go. The Cowboys can win stuff if they trade Zeke and trade Dak.
Titans almost gave it up.
I think this game was Carson Wentz played
You're welcome, Washington. You're welcome.
Honestly,
25 for 38, 359 yards, 9.4 average, 2 TDs, an interception, and 3 sacks. Still lost the game. While Ryan Tannehill is 15 for 24, 181, 7.2 average for 1 TD, and 5 sacks. They are missing Stafford and Taylor Lewan. The whole left side of the Titans line is gone. Roger Stafford went to the Bills, and Taylor Lewan is injured. One of the best left tackles still in the league, honestly. And now they're hurting on the pass, but on the run, it's Derrick Henry, and good luck tackling him with 1 or 2 people.
At this point with the tight ends, Tannehill's just an NPC out there.
Yeah,
He's just they cannot finish games. The only reason why they won this game is because Carson Wentz tried to be a hero when he's not able to be a hero.
He threw a pick rather than...
Hear me out.
Yeah.
Hot take. I'm talking sizzling off the grill, covered in bacon grease, hot. Popping, steaming, ate up than in a one piece, okay? Hot take. All right?
All right.
The Titans trade for Dak Prescott. Cooper Rush is him. All right? I think everyone's seeing that. He's going out there with a Cowboys offense that's good. Not phenomenal, but good. All right?
Depends on what you get in return.
True.
There's that, and also Jerry Jones' mood. I'm sorry. It is always Jerry Jones' mood. Jerry Jones runs the team play calls.
Yeah, but at the same time, you could go and you could give the Titans a quarterback that they're looking for, and then you could probably get back from that some picks, or who do the Titans have to give? Who do they have?
I guess.
I don't know who they have. Honestly, besides Derrick Henry and a couple good linemen, and maybe
they're not
Robert
get
Woods.
Rid of Henry.
No, they're not going to get rid of Henry.
There's no.
Also, why would you have a running back rotation of Henry, Elliott, and Pollard? That is a waste of money. They're not going to get the carries they need to be effective. You need to So no, I think it would be a trade to the Titans to do something. Maybe you get. I think if the Titans did that, you'd have to grab Ryan Tannehill, maybe. So that's Malik Willis and Dak Prescott.
Also, what I look at for Cowboys, I don't know how bad of a cap space Dak hit with his contract.
A lot. It's over 100 million.
It's that.
Well,
so it's
who are the Titans paying besides Tannehill, Henry, and Robert Woods? And maybe
you gotta
Taylor
think of
Lewan.
it this way: is Cooper Rush the guy that could win a Super Bowl for the Cowboys?
He is the only. No. Listen. This is the only Cowboy starting quarterback ever to win 5 of his first straight games as a starter. Roger Staubach, a Hall of Famer, or 4. Roger Staubach hasn't done that at all. The first ballot Hall of Famer. Troy Aikman didn't do that. Tony Romo sure as hell didn't do that. So you're going to tell me that Dak Prescott, who also didn't do that, you're not going to go out and I don't care if he looks like an off-brand Kirkland version of Andy Dalton. If he can go and he can give you wins by any means necessary, go with him. And he's been doing great. The team's been going out there and they've been slapping teams.
I'm not denying that.
I'm not denying he's been good. But I'm kind of they destroyed the Rams, but the Rams are on a hungover. Commanders.
Here's the thing. They're about to play the Eagles. If I were Jerry Jones or Mike McCarthy or the GM who does nothing, I would say, listen, if Cooper Rush goes out there and he wins us this game, Dak, get your bags and get the fuck out. You are costing me $100 and however million, and we don't need you because we have this guy that we can pay 10 times less, and he gives us 10 times more value. I don't care how much you're paying Dak. I don't care if every Dak Prescott jersey is all of a sudden burnt in Dallas. Win.
Dak did last year.
Yeah.
Who cares? This is a business. Win the games. Win the games. That is the name of the game, is to win.
We can talk about Dak and Cooper Rush when we go to the Cowboys. I just want to finish off Titans and Commanders. Then we go to Cowboys.
It was Carson Wentz. It was Carson Wentz throwing a duck and on a what was it, a 2-point conversion or it was a touchdown attempt?
No.
It was a touchdown attempt.
It was a touchdown attempt on a double coverage. I mean, you're welcome, Commanders or Colts or whatever. I don't give a fuck. We got the first round pick from him. I don't care.
Trying to hero ball.
Also, again, Titans won this game on the back of Derrick Henry running through everybody he possibly could. He averaged 3.6 yards. Yeah, they need to finish games. They need to get rid of Ryan Tannehill. I'm sorry, he's not a good quarterback. He proved that in the AFC divisional game last year against the Bengals.
Does Derrick Henry have any nicknames? Because they should nickname him the Amtrak.
The Amtrak.
The Amtrak.
Yeah. But again, the Commanders are already the Commanders are already in hot water. Ryan Rivera looks like he's going to be the next coach to be fired after Matt Rule just got canned for the Panthers. Now
I feel bad for Ron Rivera.
Now stuff was coming out that Adam Schefter was talking about the owner
emails. Dan Snyder.
Yeah, Dan Snyder. And Dan Snyder's, NFL can't fuck with me. I've got dirt on all of them. So this is going to go terribly. Honest opinion, Commanders need to move to Arlington, Virginia, where they're going to build a new stadium. They need to rebrand.
That's where they were before.
They need to rebrand, and they need to recolor their uniforms. The maroon and the gold.
They rebranded to Commanders recently.
No one likes it. No one. And if you like it, please tell us, because I don't think anybody likes the Washington Commanders. Your logo sucks. Your stadium sucks. Your team sucks. Your owner sucks. Your owner sucks.
Okay. The coach is decent. Like, Ron Rivera is not a bad coach. He's just in a shit situation. Also, they were in Arlington before, if I remember right. And if you think about, Washington is basically close to Arlington, so they can still keep the Washington.
Honestly, area. I think they should literally start a new franchise. Leave the Commanders / Redskins team in the dirt. Put it away. Start over. No. You need to go to Arlington. No, you need to go to Arlington. Wait. Yeah, you can name it the Hogs. So you could go to the Arlington Hogs.
Or the
honestly,
Virginia
Virginia. No, that's French. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, if technically Washington is in Virginia,
it's its own municipal region, though.
Yes, but if you
it's also more in Maryland because it's north of the Potomac.
Because they're in Landover. That's why they're not in. That's why they're in Landover, Maryland. Trust me, as a Virginian.
Yeah, but honestly, I think they should restart their organization. They should get a new owner, move to Virginia, call themselves the Virginia something, maybe the Hogs as an homage to the old teams and like John Riggins, of course, and
the fans,
and honestly do that. And because the colors, ever since they switched the Redskins uniforms, they had to change. Ever since they switched from that like style, the colors have been awful, especially on the absolutely pale Irish-looking motherfucker Carson Wentz. Those colors look awful on him. I'm sorry. I saw that first picture of him holding his like his chest piece like this. I'm like, whoa, that looks bad. Looks
we are Commanders.
I'm trying to think if you try putting Arlington, where can they put in Arlington? I'm actually being serious because I lived in Virginia.
Land.
I've been to.
They have land.
They do.
Mm-hmm. They have land.
I don't know about Arlington, but then it's like if you try to go somewhere in Virginia, Richmond does not have space.
Hey, I mean, the Bears are moving to Arlington, in Illinois, so you got Arlington.
All
right.
Dallas,
Texans,
the Cowboys
Texans,
got
Jaguars. I don't know how
Damian Pierce.
Jacksonville just is going up and down. Trevor Lawrence looked awful. 25 for 47 for 286, 6.1 average, 2 interceptions. Davis Mills didn't look much better. 16 for 24, 140, 5.8 average, no TDs or interceptions with 1 sack. But again, as you said, Damian Pierce, 26 carries for 99 yards, which is a 3.8 average. They were running the ball left and right, while the Jacksonville rushing only had 71 for Travis Etienne Jr., and then the old man, Marvin Jones Jr., getting 104 yards total, Evan Ingram right behind him. So the options for Jacksonville working out, but they couldn't punch it in and get the touchdowns they needed ultimately. Houston coming out for a win here, which is great for them, as they were the last team in the NFL to get a win, as they were 3-1 coming into this game.
So that's, yeah.
Side note, fuck ties. Why are there ever ties? There should never be ties. Keep playing the game.
To end the game because you don't want to go. All right. Would you want the Broncos Colts game to go on forever?
Yes. I don't want ties. You know how I hate looking at 3 layers win-loss totals. It's a win-loss total. Ties should not happen.
I don't know if you guys realize, but they showed on the broadcast in Broncos Stadium of just people leaving, in the
I
fourth
saw that.
quarter.
Was funny. I mean, I was
going to overtime.
Broncos country. Let's ride the ride. People walking out.
Just walking out.
Yeah. So,
okay.
This is a good win for Houston, but again, they still are in rebuild mode. Davis Mills hasn't looked bad. He could be the quarterback of the future. He could end up being the next Matt Schaub for him, or he could end up being mediocre. Looks like right now he's wavering that line, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Brandon Cooks had an off game, even though they won. Didn't have a touchdown, only 4 yards for... or 4 receptions for 20 yards for a 5.0 average. He's their best receiver usually, but he was probably getting pounded by some of these Jacksonville DBs. Yeah.
My thought on this, Doug Peterson's very streaky.
Mm-hmm.
I remember him with the Eagles. Like if he's on the lose, if he goes on a losing streak, he'll go on a losing streak. But then once he goes on a winning streak, he'll go on a winning streak. Like Doug Peterson's weird.
Don't you just love that Doug Peterson statue outside of your stadium?
No. Okay. I love the hell out of him being the head coach to have the Eagles win the Super Bowl. He does make dumb decisions. I will admit that. I'm not going to be like, oh, he's perfect. But he does become streaky.
Yeah.
49ers just slacking Panthers.
Yeah. Panthers, right after this game, again, you see the Panthers putting their backup quarterback. Baker Mayfield's now in the hot seat for starting position. Christian McCaffrey looks like he's going to be traded. Again, San Francisco going into Carolina, winning 37-15. Jimmy Garoppolo having even a bad day, only 18 for 30 for 253 with an 8.4 average. No interceptions, but again, sacked twice. So he's not looking insane. Jeff Wilson Jr. had 120 rush yards for some reason. And then about 50s for most of the receivers. Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Jaron Jennings, Trevin Coleman, and even Kyle Juszczyk putting up 27 yards as a fullback. I love to see it. Though Deebo Samuel was kind of kept at bay, only 20 receiving yards and 12 rushing yards, which is interesting to see a 49ers win with very little receiving yards. And again, George Kittle fantasy owners are fucking crying because he only got 47 yards and even had a fumble lost, but he recovered himself. Or a fumble lost, sorry, didn't recover it. So, again, George Kittle is just being an extra tackle, it looks like, in this scheme. But yeah, Panthers right after this fired Matt Rule. Baker Mayfield's on the hot seat as Darnold's coming back. Chris McCaffrey looks like he might be traded. Robbie Anderson looked like shit. It is 5-alarm red alert DEFCON 17 in Carolina right now.
Do you really think Baker's on the hot seat, or do you think, because my thought is it was just bad coaching?
It could be. We'll see how it goes, but I think also he hasn't really shown that he could be insane. Again, took 4 sacks, threw an interception, no touchdowns, 20 for 36 for 215. Like, that's not an insane stat line. That's like, oh, he didn't cause the loss. That was kind of like, hey, this loss might kind of be on your shoulders here, bud.
Oh, yeah, I mean, this. Go ahead.
Go for it. Go.
How about the Bills' number 2 defense? Guess who's number 1?
The Panthers?
Nope.
Niners.
San Francisco.
Yep. Is the number 1 defense.
Yeah.
Again, I'm saying, look at the stats.
Oh, San Fran has typically they've had good defenses. They have great defense.
Yeah, Fred Warner
the
is
number one
amazing.
defense this year.
Yeah, Fred Warner is amazing. Dre Greenlaw went off with 11 total tackles, 4 of them solo.
Even with Nick Bosa out.
Yeah, Tre'Davious Ward, Bosa's out. No, Bosa's in. Bosa's in.
Oh no, he was
other Bosa.
Okay,
I think other Bosa. Chargers Bosa.
Yeah.
I
thought he did get hurt.
He did nothing. He did nothing. He only had 1 total tackle, which was a gang tackle and not a solo. So
but still, the defense is still good.
San Francisco's a good team.
Yeah, but why do you think Garoppolo makes it into the playoffs? It's because their defense.
Also, Garoppolo is okay. Garoppolo is equivalent. Okay. Garoppolo, outside of that one season Joe Flacco had, he's just Joe Flacco with not a cannon for an arm.
Yeah.
He won't lose you to games,
Joe Flacco had that one season where it was like, holy shit, this guy's the next coming of Joe Namath or Chetty, just an insane. Joe Namath's stats suck nowadays, but he's the next coming of Peyton Manning. His stats were insane, and the next year you're like, oh, it's Joe Flacco. So
he won't lose you games, but he won't win you games.
Yeah, he's a solid quarterback.
But you look at the rushing, that was good.
Before we move on, 49ers future with Trey Lance and Garoppolo.
They're keeping Lance.
Okay, I guess we'll go back. The weird thing is they kind of have to win now because of their old linemen are getting old. You have a generational talent. The best player, not only the best lineman, the best player in the NFL right now is Trent Williams.
Yep.
So you got to utilize that generational top 10 tackle of all time, lock it in Trent Williams right now. So there's a lot of stuff you got to do with that. Also, George Kittle's not getting any younger. Deebo Samuel is an athlete, so his window of talent is going to be a lot more shrunk than a guy who's a lot more precise. He's not going to have the window that Jerry Rice had, but also he's still going to be very good for quite a while. But I think they're still in win now mode. They got to the NFC Championship last year. Also, I would have loved to see a Bengals Niners rematch. Holy moly. That would have been so much better. Because nobody, again, I'm going to get in this soapbox again. Nobody wanted an LA team. No one cares.
Yeah, you're right.
There were more people at the Bengals send-off. There were more people at the Bengals send-off party to the Super Bowl than the Rams Super Bowl party.
Well, LA doesn't
the
care
parade.
About football.
No,
they
don't.
only care about UCLA. They only care about UCLA.
Well, even that, the Lakers.
Yeah, even then.
The Lakers, the Dodgers, the A's, or not the A's, the Angels.
The A's.
The A's, not the A's. That's Oakland. But
the Kings. When the Kings were winning in hockey, they had.
Yeah,
they do have games.
Yeah. Snoop Dogg was going. You don't see Snoop Dogg going to LA Rams games, except for the Super Bowl where he did the halftime show. But again,
no one cares about LA.
No one cares about the 2 LA teams. Nobody. Go back to San Diego and St. Louis. Maybe not St. Louis because they lost it twice.
Spanish. It's because money. That's why.
Speaking about
Stan Kroenke and Spanish.
Anyway, Cowboys. In the words of Skip Bayless, how about them Cowboys? What it do, baby?
Is it okay if I start first? I have to admit their defense is better than last year. That defense is holding.
Yeah.
I know Kupp had 125 yards, but if you look at their past game, after looking at their past games, the most points they gave up this year is 17 against the Bengals. That's the most points they gave up.
Yeah.
Yes, I know San Fran's number 1 defense, but Cowboys, they're putting it on with the defense right now.
Yeah, and Stafford's going back to old self back in Detroit.
Yeah.
Pat Stafford.
Stafford did have 308 yards, but 28 for 42 the run game for LA is
non-existent.
Yeah. It's probably one of the few that's worse than Buffalo. And again, I'm counting run game as only running backs. Only running backs because Josh Allen's running really well, but other than that, no. The Rams, the Rams O-line is not looking good even without Whitworth. So go ahead, Masson.
I'll give you a hot take after you guys finish. Go ahead.
So I want to go on the Cowboy side real quick. Rushing wise, the stats are kind of interesting there. Pollard, 8 carries, 86 yards, and then you got Ezekiel Elliott taking 22 carries, but
another thing,
only a 3.5 average.
If you trade
yards.
Zeke and you trade Dak, that frees up like $200 million in cap space.
Yeah.
Just
I think they need to move him. Yeah. They need to move Elliott. But I mean, we could talk about Dak too, because I mean, Cooper Rush this week didn't had too much going on. I mean, it's just what 16.
The Broncos just lost one of the starting running backs. Traded Ezekiel to the Broncos.
Oh, Jamal Williams? No, not Jamal Williams, but I know who you're talking about. Broncos did. He's out for the season.
So now it's just Melvin Gordon. Or no. It's just Melvin Gordon.
Yes, Melvin Gordon.
And then for the trade, get what's his name? Russell Wilson as a meme.
No.
Cowboys, let's ride.
Yeah, Cooper Rush 10 for 6. But I mean, he didn't have to do much. You had Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott's doing work. And the defense just basically is just teabagging the Rams offense.
As a franchise, you got to decide because, like, I mean, Cooper Rush is only had 16 attempts. If you have Dak back, what is that offense going to look like? You got to make that choice. Like, what do you do in the future?
All right, Masson, I've been wanting to hear this hot take. Let's see what it is.
Yeah, I want to hear this hot take now.
Rams trade for Christian McCaffrey. If they actually have stuff to trade for, that's a big thing.
They don't.
I know.
They don't. They have Cooper Kupp, and they have as many draft picks as the dirt on the bottom of my shoe. They have nothing.
Yep. I mean, if they have something, they'll try to trade it to try to do. I could see Rams trying to go for Christian McCaffrey if the Bills don't take it.
I think this is where we see the win now mode hurt, because once Matthew Stafford retires, which isn't going to be for too much longer, I don't think. Hot take: I think Tom Brady Tom Brady will play longer than Matthew Stafford. I think.
Really?
I think Matthew Stafford's almost done. He's having arm troubles. His arm's starting to hurt. Also, Tom Brady's getting divorced. So he's going to play football for another 500 years, basically. So
if he doesn't get hurt from the offensive line.
So much for that Fox deal, huh?
Yeah. That's the thing. That Fox deal guaranteed him that money whenever he wants. So he could just leave and get that Fox money. And that's so much money. He could start a campaign to be president, which he'd probably win. But again, that Cowboys defense doing phenomenal. Really, really good performance from them. Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, Anthony Barr, Donovan Wilson, Leighton Vander Esch, who's a really underrated linebacker who's doing very, very well this season compared to his previous season.
He was injured so many times. That's the problem. If he wasn't, when he's healthy, he's a beast. And I hate saying that as an Eagles fan. But I will say that defense, like Matt Quinn, is a good defensive coordinator.
The one thing I can't stand about the Cowboys, other than their fans, is that the current trend with the Cowboys is they're all wearing that really stupid helmet. The one that has like the visor built in and doesn't have the top white face mask bar on the top. That helmet pisses me off. I hate looking at it.
I'm pretty indifferent, to be honest.
I like
the
old school
NFC
helmets.
East
I would want everyone to wear like the Aaron Rodgers style helmet. There's this simple circle,
Dude, the NFC East is gonna be a dogfight.
Well,
this week is gonna
unless you're from Washington, yes.
But like Philly 5-0, Dallas 4-1 with a backup QB. Like I have to admit, Cooper Rush has been doing well. He didn't have to do much this week, but like he's not bad. He's not losing you the game.
ESPN, what the fuck is this? I'm looking at the standings: Philadelphia, Dallas, New York. That doesn't obviously. I know the NFC East, it's the New York Giants, but like, why doesn't it just say New York Giants or NYG? Why does it just say New York? Because there's also the Jets. Like, come on, ESPN. In the words of Ron Burgundy, Espen. What are you doing, Espen?
New York team, huh?
Fuck you, San Diego. Milk was a bad choice.
Oh, this game.
Here we go.
Hey, our defensive coordinator, Gannon, why are we not sending more blitzes? That's all. Also, stop with the so many screens. You're not Andy Reid.
We gotta spike the ball, guys. We gotta spike that ball. We gotta spike it.
Yeah.
That's gonna be my hatred right now. That's gonna be my hatred right now. Why are we doing screens when you have Jalen Hurts, Miles Sanders, and Well, I know Gainwell only had 3 rushes for 20 yards, but still, Miles Sanders and Jalen Hurts at the end of the game was getting the rushes. They were getting yards with the rushing. Why screens?
Yeah.
You're not Andy Reid.
Jalen Hurts, 26 for 36, 239 yards, 6.6 average, no interceptions, and no TDs, taking 2 sacks. Kyler Murray, 28 for 42, 250 yards, rushing for 42 in those little toddler legs, 6.0 average in passing, and 1 sack, 1 TD, 1 interception for a 6.82 rating. Arizona falls by 3, 20-17.
When does the new COD come out? Is that already?
October 28th. So after that, the Cardinals. You got to start winning games because you're only going to lose that last week of October.
If you have Kyler Murray on your fantasy team, think about trading him right until the COD release. You got to get him out. All right, get him out.
It was double XP this weekend. This past weekend, should I say?
Yeah.
No.
The Arizona receivers did okay. 78 from Marquise Brown. Rondell Moore had 68. Zach Ertz had 48. Benjamin had 28. AJ Green had 20. Very well performance for them. But Dallas Goedert for the Philadelphia Eagles, 95 yards. Devontae Smith, 87. AJ Brown only with 32. Kind of held at bay by the Arizona defense.
I mean,
it's interesting because holding AJ Brown, that mountain of a receiver at bay, is quite difficult. Probably one of the more physical receivers we've seen since prime AJ Green, or even
just put 2 guys on.
It didn't help that they did screens to AJ Brown, so he lost yardage because of fucking screens.
Okay.
Also, a lot of things I've seen is like, ever since JJ Watt went to the Cardinals, he has been so much different. Like I know he still got to be somewhat good, but his production and his stats have just plummeted. I just don't get it. Like he looked like one of the best pass rushers of all time.
Injuries,
that's true.
Injuries. He's had a lot of injuries.
Mm-hmm.
What is scaring me, Eagles defense? Look at who's the most tackles.
Gardner
cornerbacks and cornerback and safeties.
That's the biggest issue I think the Eagles have. You don't have any edge rushers. You have Jordan Davis on the inside and Fletcher Cox. That's great. Who's your edge?
It was supposed to be
This is an Eagles fan. This is an Eagles fan thinking about who his edge rushers are. That tells you something, right? True. He has had a bit to drink, right? But at the same time,
he got injured in the preseason.
Oh, fuck. I mean, still the Eagles have the number 4 defense in the league,
right? But imagine if they had, Maston was saying, rush more, send some more rushers, get some more pressure on the quarterback. Imagine if you get that. Imagine if you could get that natively.
Hargrave.
Imagine if they got somebody, or if they traded for somebody that's a good edge rusher, which I think is their biggest need. They went out and they traded for an edge rusher, and
Derek Barnett. Derek Barnett's hurt for the year.
I mean, even with Derek Barnett, I don't think that's an insane.
His only problem was he would be too aggressive, as in he would get penalties. That was his big thing.
There is one thing I want to discuss a little bit later about the Eagles, but once we're wrapped up with this. But one thing I want to talk about actually is, Cardinals coaching at the third and 1. They could have reviewed it through the challenge flag. They decided to spike it and rely on it's not Matt Prater because he has a hip injury. So they went with Matt Amendola.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the coaching staff was.
It was a bad decision. It was a very bad decision. I don't know why they did it again, like you said.
Yeah,
nobody knew what they were doing at that time.
I do admire the offensive. I do admire the offensive lineman that came in and said, "Hey, this is not on his fault. All you reporters should be waiting to try to get a real emotional response out of this guy. So go home."
Yeah.
I like
one
that.
thing I want to talk about is we're week 6 now. Are the Eagles the team to beat? Are they the Super Bowl
They
contenders?
have to be.
What do you guys think?
Well, they're Super Bowl contenders is a bit iffy to put that on them now. But the team to beat, yes, they're undefeated. They have to be. Like, they're the only undefeated team in the league. They're going to be the team to beat.
Well, I mean,
just,
yeah.
You know.
But I'm talking about like playoff wise and Super Bowl.
Here's what goes against them: their schedule. Who do they beat? Lions, Vikings, Commanders, Jaguars, Cardinals.
Fair.
Out of all the teams, who has a winning record?
I mean, fair.
Minnesota.
But
They're
do we
leading
put
the
Minnesota,
NFC North.
Yeah.
Would you put Eagles in like the Bills level? Like how good the Bills are?
Like that's the thing that's weird.
System?
They look like they look one of the most complete teams. It's just you got the Bills have no rushing. The Eagles are weird.
You guys don't really have rushing either. If we're looking at it, 61 yards for Jalen Hurts. That's your leading rusher. Miles Sanders behind that, and Kenneth Gainwell is behind that. Only 139 of total rushing yards.
We don't have, but that's the thing though. We don't have one rusher going for 100 yards. Yes.
Do the Eagles trade for Ezekiel Elliott?
Oh my god. That would be a bad trade. I don't think that would be a good trade.
No, that type of plus also I don't think they want to use the cap space right now.
Well,
yeah, that's true.
Ezekiel Elliott was best when the Cowboys had a really good O-line. Their O-line's good, but not great. The Eagles O-line is great.
It's just we have someone like
I mean, I think
we
they
have
could go
someone hurt.
I mean, how the Eagles been looking so far? I think they could go all the way.
Jason Kelsey got injured that game. He's not going to be fully. Dickerson's questionable.
Okay, well, Jason Kelsey can play with a knife in his arm. He's that guy. He's that guy. Again, Jason Kelsey is the best. Jason Kelsey is the best center since like Jeff Saturday. Okay,
4 of our starting offensive line is questionable technically, even though some saying that they're able to still play.
Give him a Philly cheesesteak. Forget about it. They'll be fine.
Early prediction, just way too early. Super Bowl is going to be Bills-Eagles.
The NFL and the United States of America does not have the infrastructure and police force necessary to cover that game. The amount of cars flipped, trash fires started, tables broken, beers drank.
Just
no.
I mean, but the way the Eagles been playing.
Where's Super Bowl at this year? Where's it at? Where's it at this year?
Arizona, I think. Was it
Arizona? The entire state of Arizona will burn down if that happens.
Okay.
The whole state will go up in flames.
I mean, okay, look at the Eagles schedule. Cowboys this week. Steelers, Texans, Colts, Packers, Titans, Giants, Bears, Cowboys, Saints, Giants. Cowboys are scaring me. Giants are scaring me. Like
honestly, hold on. Giants is a great matchup. No, Giants is a great matchup. Ezekiel, no, it is because Ezekiel or not Ezekiel Elliott, Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is the running back.
He destroys the fucking.
Who does Green Bay have as their starting 5 on the defensive line? Who? Tell me. No one. Ever since BJ Raji left, there have been 0 players that are great there. Yeah. You have a literal freight train 18-wheeler in Jordan Davis that could plug up 7 lengths of people. They're going to force Saquon Barkley to go out. Guess what happens when Saquon Barkley goes out? You have some of the better cornerbacks in the league guarding the edges who are getting all your tackles.
Why did you say Packers? You mean the Giants?
No, you said Barkley destroyed the Packers. Who do the Packers have?
No. Barkley destroyed the Eagles before. Eagles.
Oh yeah. Like he has destroyed them before.
Yeah,
but you're going to make him go outside because Fletcher Cox and Jordan Davis are going to plug up any holes that tries to run through in the middle because the Giants' line isn't that good. So he bounces outside. Who bounces outside? It's all about your cornerbacks, and I think your cornerbacks will deal with that.
I don't know. I still
think
Reddick,
Josh Sweat. Yeah.
All I'm saying is Super Bowl.
We got to move on, even though I don't want to move on because the next game we're talking about are my Bengals.
I'll let you do that while I gotta pee.
Again,
that'll be hilarious.
I was looking at this, and our play calls didn't look great. We held Lamar to a bad game, or a decent game. 19 for 32, 174, 5.4 average, 1 TD and 1 interception with 1 sack, a 27.8 QB rating, and he was their leading rusher with 58 yards. We held J.K. Dobbins to 44. They weren't doing great. But on the other side, Joe Mixon only had 78 yards for 5.6, which I thought was crazy. Our best receiver was Hayden Hurst, who is our new tight end, for 53 yards, who stretched for a touchdown. And then Samaj P. Ryan, who also caught 4 passes for 39 yards, even though Jamar Chase had 50. He didn't really seem like he did a ton. Burrow was sacked twice, had 24 for 35 for completion and completion attempts. 217, 6.2 average, 1 TD, 1 interception. It was not a good showing from the Bengals. It looked like a play calling issue. But I think the reason for the play calling issue is because Zach Taylor doesn't think he can go deep because we don't have the time. We can't give Joe Burrow time. Yeah. To go deep, you got to give Joe Burrow time. In order to give Joe Burrow time, you need to be able to block. And like, I don't get it, but like Ted Karras isn't talking a ton to Alex Kappa and the rookie we have next to him, and Jonah Williams is doing his own thing and got hurt. So he's questionable. And then Lyle Collins is a fraud and on his ass every play. So something's got to happen. We need a guy on this team on the O-line to like pull them in and say, hey, like, we got to fix this. We got to fix this shit. So we also were without T. Higgins, which wasn't good for us. But yeah, Mark Andrews, again, was phenomenal for them. We couldn't cover him. But our defense did well. Again, Logan Wilson being one of the best underrated linebackers in the NFL currently.
This is the game you lost to Justin Tucker's leg, huh?
Yeah. Yep. Again, Justin Tucker. Yeah, 4 for 4 in field goals, 100%, 58-yard long. You can't stop that. I mean, generationally one of the best kickers of all time. I think McPherson is going to challenge him for that.
Best kicker of all time.
He was having a fun time. He was just
he has the longest kick, but you have to look at longevity. You still got guys like Morton Anderson and Vinatieri that are up there that he still got to get. So he's getting there, and he can get there, but we got to let the years pile up because kickers can play for a while, especially him. I think he could be the top.
I think he's going to. Yeah, he's gonna beat the records for Vinatieri and Gostkowski.
I mean,
all that shit.
Overall, this wasn't a terrible game for the Bengals. I think their play calling needs to improve because there were a ton of screens, a ton of short passes. But we need that O line to mesh and go now. We don't have time to wait. We waited too long to start training camp. We waited too long to get this going. Waited too long to get free agents moving. We didn't pursue Darnell Bradbury, which was fucking stupid. We re-signed Eli Apple for a year. That
was your own damn fault right there.
We're moving on. We're moving on to a really good game. The tap off the week repayment that we had for the Thursday night game was this beautiful Monday night game that ended up with a felony.
It was until the fucking refs.
Hold on.
Just ask the camera.
Until fucking ref ball came in. That's all I have to say for that game. Like, it would have been good.
The final play. Whoa. The final play was entirely the Raiders' fault.
No. I'm not saying final play. I'm saying after the bad roughing passer call, that was not roughing the passer. And then after that, guess how many calls was going against the Raiders? Almost everything, because they were trying to catch up to. They were trying to make up calls for the Chiefs, especially that field goal kick that the Chiefs made, or extra point. Where was holding? Where was the defensive holding? There was no defensive holding.
Yep. Josh Jacobs
does not like the Raiders.
Josh Jacobs went out and had an amazing game. 21 carries, 154 for the Raiders, even though they ended up losing 29-30 in Kansas City on Monday night. Had a 7.3 average with a 31-yard long rush. Derek Carr was all right, 19 for 30, 241 yards, 8 average for passing, 2 TDs, only took 2 sacks. Patty Mahomes, 29 for 43, 292 yards. 4 TDs and only took 3 sacks. Again, another really bad rushing performance from the Chiefs, but they don't need it. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, only 15 rushing yards. Patrick Mahomes had more at 28, and then Jerick McKinnon had the most at 53. But they're receiving. The amount of people that are on this receiving column for the Chiefs, 90 yards for Marquez Valdez-Scantling, 73 for Hardman. Juju had 33. Travis Kelce had 25 with 4 touchdowns. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had 20 yards. Jerick McKinnon 19. Sky Moore with 15. Justin Watson for 10. And Noah Gray with 7. While on the other side, it was literally just Devontae Adams with 124. Josh Jacobs, a running back, with 39. And then Hunter Renfrow, who has been not great with only 25. And nowhere to be found was Darren Waller, who I believe actually exited the game with an injury at some point.
Look at Matt Collins. Raiders, he's 0 4 targets. You're welcome, Raiders. You like that trade?
Yeah.
Another Eagles pick.
Yeah. This came down to, at the end of the game, the Raiders went for 2. They didn't get it after getting a good touchdown. It would have tied it up at 30. Chiefs get the ball back. The Raiders stop them, which is incredible, because honestly, they have not gotten the production they wanted out of Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones has looked atrocious for what they traded him for. But Max Crosby has been picking up the slack. He's gotten even better, which is great. Mad Max is in full swing. Raiders get the ball back. They're driving down the field. It's 4th and 1, and they decide to go for a bomb. I like it, but the play was set up to where Devontae Adams was wide out. Hunter Renfrow was slot. Hunter Renfrow was supposed to do about a 10-yard or 5-yard in or slant in. And because Devontae Adams was pressed at the line by L'Jarius Sneed, who I will rest my hat on is not a good cornerback in the NFL, ran up the field, and the synchronization of their routes got mixed up, and Hunter Renfrow and Devontae Adams collided, hitting each other. There were no Chiefs players that were causing that collision. They just hit each other, and the ball that Derek Carr threw went over Devontae Adams, and it ended up being incomplete. Chiefs take the ball, knee it, and they're done. This actually caused Devontae Adams to get so mad at the end of the game. He actually shoved a cameraman, which actually just recently led to him having a misdemeanor charge placed on him by that cameraman. But yeah, Chris Jones.
The Raiders are good at getting fucking like federal charges.
Yeah.
I know
time,
this.
All that.
I'll probably be hated for this. I don't hate the 2-point conversion call.
I don't think you can hate it, because the Raiders, as a Raiders coach, you're going to say, yeah, we're going to go and tie the game, and we're going to give the ball to the Chiefs, who in last year's playoffs, like, torched the Bills with, 17 seconds left?
Yeah.
Do you want to put your defense, who has, for the past however many years, has been hit, as an understatement, against Patty Mahomes? No. No, you don't. So going for 2 is not a bad decision. It ended up not working for them, and it was a good game in total, and they just had one bad instance that, I think the biggest issue was going for a bomb, going for a long 25, 30-yard pass on 4th down and 1.
4th, yeah. So, yeah.
What are you doing?
2 yards.
Give Josh Jacobs the ball on a sweep or a dive, get a couple yards. There was still a minute left to play. You still had time to go up, run for a yard, reset the line. You have another play ready to go, hike the ball, and then go for a long bomb. That way you don't have to put yourself in the situation.
Yeah, I did.
Also, why would you want to score quick? You are down 1. You can slowly get up the field, get to the position, and kick the field goal. Instead, you want to go and you want to score quick and give Patrick Mahomes time when you have no timeouts?
I think it was 40 seconds left in the game if they get that first down. It was something weird. I think it was just the time, probably. I didn't hate going for 2. I hate the play call. The play call I did not like.
Yeah, honestly, weird play call.
You want a funny take?
What's the funny take?
The Raiders are probably the best 1-4 team out there right now.
That's not funny at all. I agree.
It's just sad because
they are better. They are better than Denver. At least how Denver's played, because Denver's shit.
Well, Denver has 2 wins. Denver has 2 wins.
But
they're better than Denver.
Yeah.
The problem is Raiders.
You cannot tell me that Russell Wilson hasn't been cooking up hot smoking shit.
I know. But, all right, the reason why I would say Raiders was going to be last, even when the season started, was because of Josh McDaniels coaching. That's
I mean, They haven't been able to close games.
I'm just trying to think all the other 1-4 teams. Detroit, it's just their defense is bad.
Technically,
I know they got
Texans. Technically, the Texans, they're 1-3-1.
I think Texans are worse.
Yeah,
they just have no talent. They just have no talent. They need to. They have picks from the Watson
What's the
trade.
time on your clock, by the way? The recording.
Almost 8.
Oh, on the recording, 1:39 right now.
Okay.
All right, we're still
bust through this.
Let's get it moving. The game that's going on literally in 15 minutes, we're just getting this in, is the Commanders and Bears. Thursday Night Football. I don't know how Jeff Bezos wanted to pay all this money to get the worst game in history and follow it up with Commanders Bears, which is probably going to be a fucking disgrace. But Bears are at home hosting the Commanders. Both teams coming off a loss. Honestly, oh Lord.
Yes, you want to write this down?
I'm writing down too. I'm writing it down at the same time.
You'll do the writing.
I want to put. Oh my Lord.
I already know what I'm picking.
I know what I'm picking.
Give me Bears by 5.
Yes. Okay. By 5. What the
fuck? I think it's gonna suck.
It's gonna suck, but I could.
That's by 5.
Yeah.
So they would have to have a 2-point conversion or a safety.
No. You could get 2 field goals is 6. 2 field goals is a 6. And then 7, 14.
Yeah.
And then the field goal is 9.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Mamba.
Bears by 7.
Well, I'm actually going Bears by 7 too. I'm going Bears by 7. Wentz is throwing a fucking pick 6. That's all I have to say. Okay. That's going to end the game. Pick 6.
Bears defense is very mediocre, so I think,
but not bad. They're not
bad.
It's
so
better than the commies O-line.
Yeah.
Moving on to 49ers Falcons. I think this one's a clear victory for the 49ers. I'm going to take 49ers by 14.
Let's take 49ers by 21.
Damn, okay. 49ers by 7. I think it's going to be a little bit closer.
Okay.
So
I figured 49ers were going to win this. There's no way they lose to Falcons.
Yeah. What was the score allowed by how much?
I said 14.
Okay. And you, Mamba?
I said by 21.
Damn. Okay. I'm saying by 7. Goddamn. All right. Sorry, I'm writing down.
Yeah. Next game, Patriots going into the dog pound. I don't think the Browns are going to be able to pull. I don't think they'll be able to pull it off against the Patriots defense. I think it'll be a low scoring game, but I have the Patriots by 3. I think it'll be a little close.
This is a tough one. I am actually going to go on the opposite side of you. I'm going to go Browns by 3.
I have to agree, Mamba. I think the rushing attack would be too much for the Patriots right now.
Yeah.
So Browns by 3. Jacoby Brissett has not been bad. I know he's not been great.
Yeah, fair enough.
And also their I know their defense lost against the Chargers, but I think is Bailey Zappi gonna really hold his own against the Browns?
We'll see.
Which is kind of weird to say.
Yeah. Packers at home against the Jets. Packers coming off a bad loss in London. Yeah, I think the Packers are going to win this one. Even the Jets have been a bit of a tear. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to put his foot down. I'm going to say Packers. Too. Yeah, I'm going to say Packers I'll go Packers by 17.
They're in Lambeau. I still hate the Packers as a Bears fan. So I'm going Jets by 3. Let's go.
Jets by 3.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
You know what? I'm going to be the opposite. I'll say Jets by 3. Just to be that guy. I'll say Jets by 3.
Before you do your picks for Jag Colts, I just want to note tickets as low as $36. That's how bad it will be.
Where is it
Lucas
at?
Oil. It's in Lucas Oil too, which is funny. $36. You guys want to go?
No, I still got work.
Why are the Buccaneers Steelers games $134?
Is it at?
It's in Pittsburgh.
It's because Pittsburgh fans only care about the Steelers. They do not care about Pitt's Panthers, the college team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Jaguars and Colts.
The Pirates suck. The Penguins haven't started. They only started like probably today.
The Steelers
started
suck
off
too.
lob.
Yeah. Yeah. Colts, Jaguars. I think Jaguars and Colts both obviously coming off well, Colts basically coming off a loss. That game wasn't a win. That was a loss.
We all lost.
Yeah, we all lost. I really don't know who to take. I don't know if the Jaguars are going to bounce back or if the Colts are going to win, but I think the Colts are at home. I think they're going to win. I'm going to do it by 3. I think just Jonathan Taylor would be too much.
Is what's the RB? Jonathan Taylor, is he back?
Jonathan Taylor.
No way.
I don't know if he's back yet. No? He actually did get injured. I don't know if they're saying he's back.
He might not. He might not be back. Oh.
Honestly,
I still keep it with 3.
I mean, he locked it in. You can't change it.
No, I can't. I mean, but still, again, Michael Pittman could go for 120 yards.
That's true. Let me do this one. I know the Lions for Indy like -2, but honestly, I think Jags are gonna win this one. I don't think the Colts are that great. They have no own linemen.
Jags
no
by
line, but sorry, Jags by 7. I think by a touchdown.
Thinking Jags by 7 also. Pearson's gonna know Frank Reich since he was offense coordinator for the Eagles with Pearson's coach, and the Colts it's just shit. I'm sorry, I have to say it. Yeah. They're just fucking shit.
For bringing Matt Ryan, they're just shit.
Dolphins, Vikings. I think that'll be a tough game.
Well, it depends on which quarterback's going to be playing.
Right. I don't think the Dolphins are going to have Tua. I don't think the Dolphins might not even have Teddy Bridgewater. So I think the Vikings are going to win this one. I'll take them by 7. I think Justin Jefferson has a big day against Xavier Howard. I think he really wins that matchup well because of his height.
So I'm going to go Vikings, but I'm going to go a little bit higher on the points because I think it's going to be by 14. Only because, I mean, Dolphins, I don't know how they're going to produce on the offensive side. So, by 14.
Yeah, if I have to go Vikings, if there's no Tua, even with Teddy Bridgewater, I'm going to have to go 14. Teddy Bridgewater is not going to lose you. He's not going to lose you the game, but he's not going to win you the game.
He's going to go back in and go back out because of the concussion.
Yeah.
I'm going by 14-2 for the Vikings.
All right, moving on. Bengals and Saints. I'm going to obviously take my Bengals. I think the Bengals are going to win by, I'll go 17. I think the Bengals are coming bad off that last loss. I think they also know that the key right now is probably going to be Taysom Hill and just stopping him. So whenever he's on the field, which is not often, unless he's doing something, they're going to key in on him. And I think Jermaine Pratt and and Logan Wilson will do a very good job in stopping Alvin Kamara coming out of the backfield. So I think that'll be a great win for the Bengals, I think.
Even though I love Taysom Hill so much, I have to go with the Bengals by 7. I think the Bengals got it. They're in the Caesars Superdome, though.
I have to go Bengals by 3. It's going to be closer than probably this score. I'm thinking it's going to be close. Saints defense not terrible, but their offense, if Taysom Hill doesn't do anything, Saints, yeah, or even Alvin Kamara or anything like that, it's going to be by 3. Bengals by 3.
Ravens Giants in New York or East Rutherford, New Jersey. I think this is going to be a tough one.
This is a tough one, yeah.
Yeah, I do think the Giants defense is not good enough to stop Lamar Jackson. So I do think he's going to run away with this game, literally. And I think I'm going to take the Ravens by 10.
I'm actually going to go the opposite because I don't think the Ravens are going to be able to stop Saquon Barkley. So I'm going to go...
That Ravens defense? Really?
Yeah. To me, yeah.
They're pretty good. They're pretty good. Calais Campbell, I think, can lay the smack down on Saquon.
Except for the second half.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Honestly, I kind of want... I know I kind of want to go on the other side of the line, so I'm going to go Giants by 3. I think it's possible. So
it's just a tough one for me. Like I got screwed over picking Packers last week, but then the Ravens offense. I had to go Giants. I have to go against Giants for this one, not because I think they're the bad, but I think Lamar Jackson will just get him over the win. I think Ravens by 3. Like the Giants are showing a lot of improvement, but I have to say Ravens by 3.
The Giants are hungry.
Like Buccaneers.
Dabble.
Dabble.
Moving on to Buccaneers Steelers. The Steelers looked awful, even though they're at home. They're against the Buccaneers. I think eventually these Buccaneers receivers will have to get going, and I also think the Steelers offense is really bad, and the Buccaneers defense is really good, so that's not a good combination for the Steelers. I'm going to take the Buccaneers by 27.
Oh my god!
Steelers are getting the first overall draft pick. You're losing everything.
Steelers going to the tank bowl.
And the 2023 NFL draft. The Steelers select. But,
so you going Bucks?
Yeah, I'm going Bucks. Like, I think it's obvious. Let's go 14. I don't think it's gonna be that big of a margin, but you know.
Yeah. Brady's coming off a divorce. He's throwing for 400 yards and 7 touchdowns.
I'm saying
Jesus
Bucks.
Christ.
Bucks.
Dell looks an absolute dart to Mike Williams, just like breaks his chest plate. Just
it's like that's what I would have done to my wife.
I can't fucking Bucks by 10.
Man.
I think it's gonna be closer. I think a closer game because no offensive line, even though no TJ Watt. It's Bucks by 10.
It's okay. Brady will find a way.
Brady will find a way. Panthers, Rams. I think the Rams finally get a win that they need here. I'm going to go Rams by... What?
Yeah, go.
Yeah, Rams by 7. I think Rams by 7. I don't think they're going to lose to the Panthers. It's also in LA. But again, probably more Panthers fans are going to be there than LA fans anyway. So I'm going to take the Rams by 7.
Dude, with tickets as low as $33 in SoFi Stadium, I am going to go with the Rams.
That's like a fucking $5 ticket. In California,
Dude,
Jesus
so
fuck.
Cheap. It is so cheap.
They probably can't fill the stadium, honestly. Unless it's a San Francisco game, and then all the San Francisco fans show up.
What you could do even is just buy a $33 ticket and just like whittle your way down. But I'm going to go back on topic. Rams by 14.
I'm going Rams by 20. Fuck it, Panthers are fucking shit.
Yeah, they're trash. Yeah.
They're going to be the leading people for a tank bowl. That's all.
Actually, maybe they get the first round pick.
Yes, they're saying.
I just looked at the last game. The Broncos are in prime time again. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yep.
I don't want to watch Russell Wilson try to cook anything. Get Gordon Ramsay to play quarterback. He'd cook better than this. Oh my!
We'll get to that game after we finish the Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Card steal.
I've been drinking a little bit of vodka. My apologies. Anyway, Cardinals and Seahawks. That one's gonna be partially tough. I think the Cardinals haven't been looking great, and the Seahawks have been looking pretty good. But I do think the Cardinals' just talent at multiple different positions will come through. I will make it so close. I'm going to say Cardinals by 7.
Was it double XP week or you caught out?
That was last week. That was last week.
No.
Oh, it was last. Okay, so no double XP?
No.
Yeah, no double XP.
The next COD comes out in 2 weeks. So whoever the cards have.
Wait,
in
you said
2
by
weeks.
15? You said by
14,
15?
14. Oh, 14. 1-4. Oh my god, I'm not that crazy.
I'm saying Geno Smith is still gonna go off.
Ooh.
Seahawks by 7. I know. I'm being ballsy on this one. Ballsy.
This game
How is this game not prime time?
Okay,
because
well,
okay, you got
Bills Chiefs should be Monday night, but I don't think you can do 2 Monday night games in a row for the Chiefs. That's kind of rough. But
that is.
But Bills, well, actually, no, it would be still 7 days. It would be fine for them. But anyway,
yeah,
Bills, Chiefs. A rematch of the AFC divisional round. That was a really great game. The Bills smell blood in the water. They are driven. They are ready to go. They want the win. They have the better defense. The Chiefs are now without Tyreek Hill. Chandler Jones has also looked like shit thus far. So I think the Bills are going to come in to the Chiefs Stadium and they're going to win this heavily. I think Bills by 14.
Pastor, what the fuck are you doing?
I had no dice with me and no coins, so I had to flip my skull can to kind of pick.
Oh, dude, was dip skull and mine coal around here, brother.
I thought you said
Bills.
Or something.
No. Bills by how much?
14. Bills by 14.
14.
Jesus Christ.
Ooh, you're wow.
No, I have to agree with you. I think the Bills, they're smelling for blood in the water. So Bills by 7.
I'm saying Bills, but I'm thinking it's going to be closer. I think that if they get their secondary back from injury, I can see the Bills definitely winning. But I'm playing Bills by 3 right now because the defense is really good.
Yeah,
and they could still stop Kelsey and all that.
Sunday Night Football, the Cowboys and the Eagles. I want to take two quick sidetracks before I talk about what my score is going to be. One, I really think the Eagles need to switch back to their old green style uniforms with a modern Eagle look, because I do not like
green.
Yes, I do not like this really dark green. I keep bringing this up. I think they're the worst. I think they're the worst uniforms of football right now.
What about the Commanders?
Okay, Commanders. Okay. Commanders don't even count. They're not a football team. They don't even count. There's 31 teams in the league. Commanders aren't one of them.
Tonight, the Bears are going to have full orange. By the way,
that is good. Yeah, I'll have to catch that game once we're done here because it actually starts in 2 minutes. So
I have it.
We're about ready.
They gotta look different versus the Commanders.
But again, I think if Cowboys go out and they win this game, Dak Prescott's on the training block. Boom, right then and there. So with that being said, Cowboys by 3. Cooper Rush gets the win, and Dak is out of the fucking building.
You said Cowboys by 3.
Cowboys by 3.
So I'm looking at the bet line here.
Yes, sorry about it.
Okay.
It's. I mean, if you look at the betting line, it's heavily favored for the Eagles, but I don't think it should be that far off, like 6.5. So I'm gonna go Cowboys by 7.
All right. My Philadelphia Eagles. It's gonna be either Dicker the kicker or Jake motherfucking Elliott kicking a last-minute field goal. Eagles by 3.
Yeah, I mean, Eagles. They have to lose a game. They
don't have to. Don Shula didn't lose a game that one season. You don't have to lose a game.
I don't want to lose this game against the Cowboys, against the Texans,
especially against the division.
You're not going to lose against the Texans.
I know. Before we get to Monday night game, bye week right now. Lions, Titans, Raiders, Texans. They are all off. Raiders really need that bye week. Hopefully they will get things put the fuck together. And then Monday night we have the Broncos and Chargers.
Detroit's on bye week too, no?
Yeah, I said Lions, Titans,
Detroit, Raiders.
Oh, sorry.
Monday night, Chargers are going to play the Broncos in LA. Chargers by 49.
He just drops the mic.
Oh, we saw your pale white skin.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, his
FYI. I don't know if it wasn't his ass, that's for sure. It's just his back. He got a sweaty back, all right? He got a sweaty back, all right? I'm not cutting that out, by the way.
I'm sweating. I am sweating. I am sweating looking at this, knowing I'm gonna spend my night watching the Broncos chugging alcohol.
Whenever I make the thumbnail for this, I'm just gonna use your back. You walking away, just thumbnail.
You have to get an image.
100%
pick up that.
It'll pick it up. I saw it.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Well, I mean, okay.
With tickets as low as $40 in SoFi Stadium.
How are they lower? Tickets as low as $40. You can go to the Rams game for cheap.
Dude, No, what's even
I
funnier is the
don't want to
Chargers-
watch Russell Wilson ever again. Holy.
Yeah, the Chargers game is more expensive than the Rams game. That's the funny part.
Broncos country, let's ride. Broncos country, let's ride. Broncos country, let's ride.
This is a good episode.
Go ahead.
This is a very good
Yeah, I know.
episode.
I know. Go ahead.
Yeah, Chargers by 14. Let's go with that.
Chargers by 20. I'm not going 49, but Chargers by 20. We're fucking dumbasses.
This is the
We are the
This is
Stooges.
the football
We are the
Stooges. What can I say? What can I say? All right. Well, that is all of our predictions for upcoming week number 6.
Oh, the game
also,
started.
fuck you.
Justin Fields
The
got
game,
8 yards.
the game has started. So yeah.
Also, fuck you for picking the Cowboys.
All right. We'll
you
keep
next
you
week.
we'll keep you guys updated for next week. So thank you for tuning in. Please also make sure to like and subscribe. Comment any questions you have. We'll try to answer them at the end of our episodes. We'll also be able to give you guys our prediction win-loss totals next week. We'll have those going for next week. We're a little busy this week. That's why it's coming out on a Thursday instead of a Wednesday. So apologies for that. But anyway, thank you for tuning in. For myself, for Mamba, for Mastodon, this has been the Football Stooges. We hope you laughed and enjoyed and fucking hated this random
Broncos
fucking
country,
guy
let's ride.
every fucking week.
Broncos country,
I don't want
let's
to watch.
ride.
I don't want to watch the
Broncos
Broncos ever again. I don't. I don't. But anyway, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining the Football Stooges. Have a great week and stay classy, football world.